Alright, welcome back. Video 2 for the Ursina tower defense game. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make some sort of background. We're going to have some sort of platform. The bad guys are going to be walking along that platform heading towards some goal. The towers are going to be placed on the platform trying to prevent the bad guys from reaching that goal, being that those are the basic ideas behind how our tower defense game works. So let's start with just making a background, and we're going to make that an entity, and I will call it background. Now I could make the background a class if I wanted to have multiple stages. Maybe I will change that down the road, maybe not. Right now I kind of want to just get something out there, see how it looks, and we can always modify our program from there. So this entity, the model, is going to be a cube. As a math teacher, I take issue with the fact that a cube does not actually have to be a cube, and in fact I'm going to turn it into a flat square, really. I want to have it with a little bit of thickness, just in case I need to utilize that somehow. But model equals cube. We are going to make the scale equal to, let's go 40 for the x, 40 for the y, and we'll keep it with 1 for the z. Temporarily, I'm just going to make it green. So color equals color.green. And I'm going to move it just a little bit. Position equals, and we'll keep the x and y normal, and I'm going to move the z back just 1. The reason for that is if I make everything else at a z value of 0, it'll be in front of, at least for the initial placement of the camera, it'll be in front of where I need it to be. So that should be pretty good. And speaking of the camera, let's move the camera back a little bit. Camera.z equals, let's set it to negative 40 and see where that gets us. So if I run my program now, you should be looking at a blue screen or blue square. I'm not really going to have a frame of reference if it all looks blue. Oh, I said green, didn't I? Ha, how about that? So there we go. There's our green background, and it fills the whole screen. So the camera of minus 40 is okay. I might want to go even bigger, go further back still, but we'll see. All right, so I have a background. I don't really need to do anything else with that there. All right, for our update, let's see what we can do with the camera. I think I want us to be able to move the camera around. So let's do that in real time. So we're going to do that under the update function, and I'm going to say if held keys right arrow. So anytime I'm holding the right arrow, we will move the camera to the right. So camera.x plus equals, let's not do it too fast, we'll just make it 0.5. And then we'll do the same thing for left arrow. If held keys left arrow. Oops. We'll do camera.x minus equals 0.5. And I'm going to take this easy on myself, copy paste, and just change what needs to be changed. So up arrow, we'll change the y. And down arrow will decrease the y by a little bit. All right, let's see how that goes. So it should start with just the green again. And I'm going right arrow, left arrow, up arrow, down arrow. And I got to be honest, I kind of like where Z starts. But let's add one more thing where we can zoom in and out. And I'm going to use I and O for in and out. So let's do one more paste. I will change the Z, and O will also change the Z. So we have up, down, left, right, in and out, giving the user an opportunity to kind of zoom where they want to zoom. So let's try in and out now. In, I can't really tell. Out, there we go. There's our whole screen. And we may decide we want to make this more rectangular, but for now, this is good. So we have some camera controls, And now let's think about trying to make the bad guys. So bad guy class. So first I need to talk about the initialization. So we need def init. Oops, self got autofilled. Not really sure what aspects we're going to need just yet. So I'm just going to do a couple of placeholders for right now, namely x, y, hit points. That's good for now. And then, of course, we need all the keyword arguments. And then we are going to do the super init. Oops, or ubut, about init. And that's going to be self and keywords. Forget if I need double asterisk or not. We'll find out when it does or does not work. Things that we are going to be setting equal to themselves, things like self.x equals x, self.y equals y. We want self.hp equals hp. We also need to tell it things about the entity. So for now, we're going to have all the bad guys be spheres. So self.model equals sphere. Self.color is going to be, it's a good color for a bad guy. How about cyan? Excuse me. So we have a model, we have a color, and some things that we can change based on what they are. So, like I said, I forget if that's supposed to be double asterisk or single asterisk. We are going to find out soon enough. And I'm just going to, down here, make one. And we're going to say baddie equals, did I capitalize that? Yes. Bad guy. And we needed to give it an x coordinate, a y coordinate, and hit points. So we are going to go with -1, 1, and it's going to have 10 hit points. And I just realized something else that we need up here. We need to tell it the position. That's why we gave it x and y. So self.position is going to equal self.x, self.y, and I want the z ordinate to always be 0. We're going to do kind of like a 2.5 dimension game. It's technically a 3D game we're making here, but we're mostly operating in 2 dimensions, so that's why that is what it is. Okay, now I'd like to think this is either going to work or it's going to give me an error because of this thing up here. So let's find out and see what happens. And it worked. So cyan was not the right color. This light blue on the green background really doesn't show up at all. So we're going to make the bad guys red. That's a good danger color. And we're going to come up with a different way of just putting a few of them on the screen, and we're going to make them auto move. So first off, instead of color cyan, we're going to go color red. That's a little bit better. Let's see. I want to make an array. So instead of a single baddie, let's have multiple baddies. So baddies is going to equal, not an array, a list. I guess it's technically an array. So baddies is going to be this bracketed thing here. And I'm going to come up with a way to add bad guys to it within the actual context of the game eventually. But for right now, I'm just going to say bad1 equals this bad guy. Bad2 is going to equal a different bad guy. And it's going to be at 5, 3, and he's going to have 20 hit points. Hit points don't matter right just yet. And even though they would appear anyway, I'm going to say baddies.append bad1 and baddies.append bad2. The reason I want to have that in my array is because when I get to my update phase, I want to be able to iterate through this list and have each one of them move. So I'm going to make a for list, I'm sorry, a for loop. So for B in baddies. And we're just going to do something really simple right now, and we're just going to have move to the right slowly. So b.x plus equals 0.05. I want it to go real slow right now so we can see what's happening. And I think that's all we really want for right now. So let's take a look at what we got when we run it, see if there's any obvious mistakes, see if it does what we expected, and there it is. There's our bad guys moving across the screen. Oh, they both reached the end, we lost. So we have bad guys, we have some movement for them, we've created a list where we can add new ones, and like I said, in future videos we're going to come up with a better way of creating the bad guys, not just me randomly selecting 2 and adding them to the list. We'll have that be part of the update, perhaps be part of the input, we'll see. In the next video we will also introduce towers. But for now, I think that's going to do it. So until next time, take it easy. Thanks for watching, and always be sure to check out my other videos.